Back to the channel. It's BrainFLoTv / Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. This is the face behind the voice. It's another 5 a.m. morning. I'm tired as hell. It's the 3rd of July. Yesterday was my son's birthday. He turned 6 years old. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. But that ain't what we came to talk about. Don't watch my face. Don't watch my clothes. I'm fresh out the gym. You know how it goes. We talking about Julio Foolio. Listen. I was waiting to give my 2 cents on how I feel or how I felt about the whole situation with Julio Foolio losing his life right after celebrating, well, hell, he was still celebrating his 26th birthday. I don't know when his birthday is, but I know when he was celebrating it. And when he was celebrating it, he got killed. They had just finished leaving the Airbnb because it got a bit rowdy at the Airbnb. We all know the story. And the people over there at the Airbnb said they had to go, right? And, you know, they went, and then they went looking for a hotel. And lo and behold, the ops was on his ass. And, you know, the amount of times that Julio Foolio got shot up, he should have expected this. If I was a person who was getting shot at constantly, I would not be out here moving after dark. That would be rule number 1. Because you can't see shit in the dark. It just makes sense to stay in the light. Or invest some money in a bulletproof vehicle and never move in any other vehicle but a bulletproof vehicle, right? Put a team of security around you. But then again, a lot of these guys aren't as rich as social media make them seem. And fame makes them seem. There's a lot of famous people that are broke. Or it's a lot of famous people that have regular people money. Don't let that go over your head because that's real. I've lived in New York City before. I was living in Brooklyn, and one of the biggest rap stars at the time lived right on my block. He drove a BMW, and back then, the type of BMW he had, talking about years ago, the type of BMW he had made heads turn. And it was like an $80,000, $90,000 car. The average person couldn't afford that, right? And all his boys drove Porsches and other foreign whips, and they pull up at the barbershop. They'll have nice clothes on and all that. But none of them could afford to move out the hood or take their family out the hood. So it's a perception that becomes reality for a lot of people. Oh, my favorite rapper shows a lot of bling on TV and social media in his videos and whatnot. He must be rich. Not so. So he might not have had the money to do all the stuff, you know. And a lot of people are saying, come on, man. He had an $80,000 watch on his arm and another $120,000 chain on his neck. That was enough to take his family to someplace safe. Hey, listen. Jewelry has changed, okay? There's a lot of jewelry out there that people could flash in front of you and you would swear it's a bust-down Rollie or it's a Cartier iced up or it's whatever it is, a Cuban link iced out, and it's a friggin' $50 chain and a $25 watch and all that, right? Don't be fooled by what you see out here. All smokes and mirrors, all image. But that ain't what I really come to talk about. What I really want to talk about is I was studying Julio Foolio through his videos after he passed, right? And when I told my wife, I said, you know, he was 26 years old and he was celebrating his 26th birthday. Even my wife was like, what? He's 26? Why did I think he was like 18 or 19? I said, exactly. Exactly. I watched all Julio Foolio's material just to do this video right here. Did y'all notice that Julio Foolio did not hang around people who were his own age group? For instance, when I was 18, 19, I mean, I did 10 years in the military, so I was around order and structure and all that. But when I was around 18 and 19, I was hanging with people who were 29 and 30, right? There was nobody else in my group. I was the youngest in the group or around the people I hung around. So to see a 26-year-old hanging around 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, it was like, now that you look back at it, I know what it is. Because if you listen to the way he has a conversation, the way he views life, and his outlook on his future and all that, you would be able to tell that, and this is not a diss, you would be able to tell that there was some arrested development there. Yeah, arrested development. Don't get that out of your head. Keep it right here. Arrested development. So many of my brothers, man, are living in arrested development. It's like the body is 30 years old, right? But the mind is 15. This is the reason why you have a lot of brothers out here that neglect their responsibilities. I mean, shout out to the ones who handle their responsibilities, because there's a lot of us out here who do handle our responsibilities. But it's so many of us that neglect our responsibilities, like having a girl pregnant, and now she has to force you to help her with the child that you made with her. That kind of stuff. Hanging out on corners or hanging out in unsafe places, knowing that you have people that depend on you to bring in the bread, to be there for them. You know, neglecting your responsibilities like a child. They need to be guided. They need to be told what to do. They need to be told where to go next. They need to be, because if nobody is telling them, then they just do any self-destructive shit. And if no one is telling them where to go and where not to go, they'll go straight into danger every single time. You know, and it's not bravery, it's arrested development. And I was looking at Julio Foolio, and I'm thinking my brother was living in a arrested development state of mind. Arrested development. You got grown-ass men out here who are living in arrested development state of mind. Motherfucker 45 years old. And he's still out here chasing 20-year-old females. And he got a wife or a woman at home that loves him and wants to build a family with him and has given him children, and she's busting her ass and holding it down at the house, and she's expecting him to pull his weight, do the other half. She's not even asking for him to pay for everything. Like, you know, most of what these videos are saying today, where women are like, oh, he has to earn over $100,000 a blah, and he has to pay for everything, and I don't pay for nothing. She ain't even asking for that. She just asking for him to pull his own weight, and he can't do it because of a arrested development mindset. Can't see into the future. Can't think like a grown person. This is scientific. This is not my words. You could go look this up. I graduated from Kaiser University. I have a degree, and my degree is a science degree. And I did study anatomy and physiology. I also studied kinesiology, and I also studied biology and advanced biology, just to throw that out there to let you know where this is coming from, right? Not flaunting anything in anybody's face, because there are a lot of people out there with higher degrees who are way more accomplished than I am. This ain't what this is. This is me telling you that science says, and this is where I learned it while I was in school. Science says that the human brain is not fully developed. Your frontal lobe of your brain, controls your decision-making skills, higher decision-making skills, higher levels of thinking. This is the part of your brain, your executive part of your brain. This is the part of your brain that wears the suit and tie. This is the part of your brain that says, nah, bad decision, shouldn't do that, because these are the consequences if I do that, so let's do this instead. This is the part of your brain that rationalizes. This is the part of your brain that thinks before it acts. That part of your brain is not developed until you are at least 25 years old. Now imagine somebody who is living in a state of arrested development. He's already naturally functioning like he is a 17, 18-year-old, right? And he's 26. And then put science to that, and this part of his brain is not fully developed. Doesn't stand a damn chance. So, looking at it like that, I would say part of it could be his environment. Yeah, it was his environment. Another part of it comes down to choices, you know. And we could go on and on, man, talking about how the family is supposed to be structured, the responsibility of a mother and a father. Where's Julio's father? Julio Foolio's dad. I know his mom is there, his grandmother is there. He speak about his mom and his grandmother. Julio Foolio seems like he really believed like he could not die. I was watching an interview with him where he said he's like a demigod or something like that. Like, they can't kill me, they can't take me out. I can't die. They can't get me. You know, and man, everybody thinks that. That is to be young and dumb. Yeah, and again, no disrespect, but that is to be young and dumb. I remember being 17, 18. I thought I was going to live forever. I honestly thought I was going to live forever. And I thought at least I'm going to live to be 100 and I have like 80 something more years left to go. So I got all the time in the world to pay. It wasn't until later that I realized, when I started losing people around me who are younger, that I realized, oh shit, he just died and he's 23. I'm 24. I'm lucky as hell. Damn, she just died and she is 26. I'm 24. Will I make it to 26? But when you're young, there's a spirit inside of you that makes you feel like you can't be touched. You know it all. You got this figured out. You're going to live forever. That's why you have young people who are like 20 years old. They call somebody 40 years old old head. Old head at 40. Old head. 50. Oh, that's grandmama. Them people old. I don't listen to them people when they talk, you know? And you're like, damn, does this person even know how close they are to that age that they call it old? Do they even know? But you don't know. You don't know. We all lived it and we don't know. And then fast enough you get to that age and you're like, damn, I'm here already. Where did all the years go? Shit, I'm turning 40 tomorrow. Where the fuck? How did I get to 40? I was 20 yesterday calling 40-year-olds old head. That's life, right? But the ability to see ahead, the ability to plan ahead, the ability to make safe decisions, all comes from that frontal part of the brain. And arrested development will hinder that. Let me close this video by saying this. When I look at Julio Foolio now, in those videos, I don't see him as no demon. I don't see him as no killer. He might have killed. I don't know. The boy might have had a few bodies. You never know. But I don't see him as that. I see him as another brother, lost, confused, a product of his fucked up environment, all of the above. But you could really look at him and see that he actually wanted to make it. He wanted to make it. He wanted to make it, but he wanted to make it on his own terms. And nonetheless, he wanted to make it. He was loyal to his people. He was respectful and loving, caring about his people. That in itself counts for something. Because there's a lot of people out here who are not loyal to their own people, who are not loving, caring, and respectful, and won't break bread with their own people. They get bread and they separate, right? And they hide, and they become brand new, and they act different. But that wasn't Julio Foolio. He just didn't know a better way. That part. And I look at him now and I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him. Because as much as he was supposed to know what was coming, because he was old enough to see it coming, because he was 26 years old, you got to remember the brother was functioning in a mind state of arrested development. He was about 14 to 16 years old, Julio Foolio. Now that I've said this to you, I want you to go back and watch his videos, watch his interviews, and tell me if you don't think that we're talking to somebody who was teenager. Yeah, that part. I'm going to send my condolences out again, man. I don't think anybody wants to go out like the way he went out, especially having a promising future like the way he did. I honestly wish he had just locked himself in a house somewhere, pulled his resources together, made music and kept putting the music out. But the sad part is, the drama that surrounded him, it was driving the music and the image as well, and that's what was really selling. And that's the sad part. Anyways, I'll catch y'all on the next video. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.